Hello there. Before you think about skipping ahead, let me say this. What you're about to uncover isn't just another list of personality traits. This is ancient wisdom from Stoic philosophy, wisdom that has endured for thousands of years and still holds the power to transform how you understand yourself and those around you. This isn't a collection of generic advice. It's a roadmap to truly seeing the core of someone's character. Imagine this. We often get caught up in the polished images on social media, the curated stories, and the public displays of personality. But the ancient Stoics, some of the wisest philosophers in history, discovered that understanding someone's true character doesn't need to be complicated. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look within is the fountain of good, and it will always flow if you dig deep enough today." We're not only looking within ourselves, but also learning how to see the truth in others. Here's the fascinating part. True character isn't revealed in grand gestures or well-orchestrated actions. It's found in the small unconscious moments, those times when people think no one is watching. Get ready, because we're about to explore the 5 most important things to notice if you want to uncover someone's true nature. Don't miss this, because it might just change how you see people forever. Let's begin with the first crucial observation: how they treat people who can't benefit them. One of the simplest, yet most profound ways to gauge someone's character is by observing how they treat people who hold no power over them. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Treat your inferiors as you would wish your superiors to treat you." It's deceptively simple advice, but it reveals more about a person than their resume ever could, how someone interacts with those who can't offer them anything in return. Whether it's a waiter, a janitor, or a new trainee, often speaks volumes about their values and integrity. Let me share an experience that left a lasting impression on me. A few months ago, I was at a busy airport lounge during peak hours. Amidst the chaos, a man in an expensive suit was juggling multiple tasks, typing on his laptop, answering calls, and sipping coffee, all with an air of self-importance. Suddenly, a young staff member accidentally spilled a tray of drinks near him, some of it splashing onto his polished shoes. You could feel the collective intake of breath in the room as everyone braced for an outburst. But instead of lashing out, he calmly stood up, helped the employee clean up, and reassured her it was just an accident. He even went out of his way to ask if she was okay, offering her a smile that likely turned her anxiety into relief. That one moment of grace told me more about his character than any title or accolades he could have boasted. This kind of behavior is what Stoic philosophy champions, judging others not by their social status or their ability to benefit you, but by their humanity. When someone treats others with dignity and respect, regardless of who they are, it highlights qualities that are becoming increasingly rare in a fast-paced, self-centered world: empathy, humility, and self-awareness. These qualities don't just benefit the recipient, they elevate the giver in the eyes of everyone who witnesses such acts. Conversely, how often do we see the opposite? The manager who snaps at the barista for getting their order wrong, or the passenger who berates the flight attendant over something trivial? These moments don't just reflect poorly on the individual, they create a ripple of negativity that affects everyone around them. And here's the kicker: no one respects the person who belittles others to assert dominance. It's a clear indicator of insecurity and a fragile ego. The solution is straightforward but not always easy. Cultivate an intentional mindset of kindness, especially toward those who are often overlooked. This doesn't mean you have to be a saint or overly generous. It's about pausing to recognize the humanity in others and treating them the way you would want to be treated in their position. The beauty of this habit is that it requires no grand gestures. Sometimes a genuine thank you, a smile, or a few extra seconds of patience can leave a lasting impact on someone's day and on how others perceive you. But here's the deeper value of this practice: treating others well, when you don't have to, isn't just about them. It's about who you are. When no one is watching, these small acts reinforce your own character, strengthening your sense of self-worth and fostering a reputation for reliability and kindness. It's not just stoic wisdom. It's a universal truth that people are drawn to those who make them feel valued, even in fleeting interactions. So the next time you're tempted to brush someone off or react harshly to a minor inconvenience, pause and ask yourself, what does this say about me? It's in these seemingly insignificant moments where your true character shines by consistently choosing kindness and respect. You're not just elevating the people around you, you're elevating yourself. That in turn earns you a form of social status, far more meaningful than any promotion or paycheck. Genuine respect and admiration, and who wouldn't want that? The second observation is how they handle minor inconveniences. Epicus taught us that what matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it, while anyone can maintain composure during life's big challenges when they know they're being watched. It's the small daily annoyances like a wrong coffee order, slow traffic, or a buffering internet connection that truly reveal our character. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed." And you haven't been these words perfectly. Capture how we deal with minor inconveniences, which often serve as a window into our true selves. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever noticed how some people can face a canceled flight with a smile and immediately start searching for solutions? While others lose their temper over a slightly lukewarm meal, this isn't just a coincidence. It's a reflection of who they are. These small moments aren't just mundane occurrences, they're tests of character. Anyone can make a good impression during major events when they've had time to prepare. But when life unexpectedly throws a minor hiccup, like a long line at a coffee shop or a traffic jam, our natural reactions are the real measure of who we are. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. One day, I stopped by a bakery during peak hours to grab something before a meeting. The place was crowded, and everyone seemed restless when a customer received the wrong pastry. He immediately started yelling at the young cashier. In contrast, another customer who also got the wrong order and had to wait long responded with a smile, offered some encouraging words, and even thanked the staff for their effort. That moment revealed everything about these two individuals. One left others feeling uncomfortable, while the other left a warm and positive impression. The takeaway here is simple yet profound. How you respond to minor inconveniences reflects how you approach life. If you see every delay or mistake as a personal affront, you'll come across as overly sensitive and petty. But if you handle situations with humor, calmness, and perspective, you'll be admired for your maturity and composure. These qualities not only make you a better person, but also make you someone others want to be around. So how can you improve your reactions first? Pause. Take a few seconds to think before you react. Act. Recognize that not every small problem warrants a strong response. Next, put things into perspective. Ask yourself, will this still matter in 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 5 days? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Finally, practice gratitude. Inconveniences are rarely as bad as we think. A canceled flight could be an opportunity to finish that book. You've been putting off a wrong meal order could be your chance to try something new, while minor inconveniences might seem insignificant. How we handle them says a lot about who we are. These moments accumulate over time, shaping how others perceive us, and more importantly, how we see ourselves. The next time you face a small challenge, treat it as an opportunity to show patience, kindness, and inner strength. After all, anyone can appear composed when things are going well, but it's how we act when things don't go our way that truly sets us apart. People who handle minor inconveniences with grace aren't just admired, they're remembered, because this is where true character shines. The third observation is their relationship with time and commitments. Seneca once said, "No one freely gives their money to strangers, but we all casually give away our time to countless people without a second thought." This quote hits at the heart of how we should evaluate people's relationship with time, both their own and others, the way someone manages their commitments. Whether they're habitually late or punctual reveals, more than just their ability to plan it, reflects how they value their time compared to the time of others. I once worked with a colleague named Michael. wasn't the loudest person in the room or the one who sought attention, but his respect for time earned him immense admiration. He had a habit of arriving early sometimes, even 5 or 10 minutes before meeting, started whether it was with the CEO or a junior intern. One rainy day, as I rushed into a meeting late and flustered, there was Michael seated calmly ready with his notes. His quiet preparation wasn't flashy, but it set the tone for the room. It wasn't just about punctuality, it was about showing respect for everyone's time. That habit alone spoke volumes about his character. Contrast this with another person I knew, Emily. Emily was a chronic latecomer, whether it was a casual coffee or an important dinner. She was always at least 20 minutes behind at first. It seemed like an innocent quirk. But over time, it became clear her lateness wasn't just about bad planning. It reflected how she prioritized her time over everyone else's. One evening, after waiting for her outside a restaurant in the pouring rain for nearly 30 minutes, I realized her tardiness wasn't just inconvenient. It was a silent message that her time mattered more than mine. That realization eventually caused a natural drift in our friendship, not out of anger, but because I felt her actions undervalued our relationship. This isn't just about punctuality, it's about the deeper message behind how people treat time. Those who value time showing up, prepared, honoring deadlines, and respecting commitments, demonstrate a respect for life and for others. On the flip side, treating time casually can signal a lack of consideration for the priorities and sacrifices of those around you. So, how can you improve your relationship with time? First, recognize its value. Time is a non-renewable resource, and every wasted minute is one you'll never get back. Second, be proactive if you struggle with being late. Adjust your schedule or decline commitments you can't keep. Finally, be aware of how your time management affects others. A simple effort like being on time or apologizing when you're late isn't just polite. It builds trust and shows you value the people you interact with. Ultimately, your relationship with time is a reflection of your values and priorities. Those who respect time, both their own and others, naturally earn respect in return. In a fast-paced world where everyone feels rushed, the act of valuing someone else's time is a standout gesture that leaves a lasting impression. The fourth observation is how they act when they think no one is watching. This might be the most revealing observation of all. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once emphasized that living consistently with nature and reason is the essence of a good life. Especially when no one is watching, a person's true character is most clearly revealed in moments when they expect neither recognition nor praise, its integrity in its purest form, actions taken without an audience. Imagine you're at a supermarket and notice someone quietly picking up items that fell off the shelf, even though they didn't cause the mess. Or think about a colleague who unexpectedly tidies up the conference room after a meeting without being asked or acknowledged. These seemingly small acts are some of the most powerful indicators of character. People who willingly do the right thing without expecting recognition demonstrate not only moral values, but also build deep personal credibility. I once witnessed this at a bustling coffee shop. A woman in the middle of a rushed day paused to pick up a napkin someone else had dropped on the floor. It wasn't a performance. No one was paying attention. Yet in that brief moment, she showed she was the kind of person who acts out of principle, rather than for applause. On the flip side, there are those who habitually leave a mess behind at their workspace, or quickly take credit for ideas contributed by others. When the original contributor isn't around, these behaviors not only diminish their personal value, but also make others question their honesty. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, once said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." This reminder applies not just to grand gestures, but also to everyday actions. Every decision, no matter how small, carries weight. What you do when no one is watching is the truest reflection of who you are. So how can you act with integrity, even when no one is looking? First, ask yourself, would I still do this if no one were here to praise me? If the answer is yes, then you're living in alignment with your values. Second, make integrity a habit. Small actions like returning your shopping cart, cleaning up after yourself at a cafe, or giving credit where it's due not only elevate your character, but also foster lasting trust with those around you. Finally, remember that you don't need others to validate your character. It's the quiet things you do in solitude without an audience that truly define. You don't underestimate the power of integrity. It not only makes you a better person, but also profoundly impacts the way the world perceives you. The fifth and final observation is how they handle power, even the smallest amount. There's a saying, if you want to know someone's true character, give them power. This is one of the most profound observations about human nature shared by Stoic philosophers. But let's be clear, the power we're talking about here isn't necessarily that of a CEO or a high-ranking official. Sometimes the smallest forms of power, like managing a schedule, making a decision in a small project, or having the ability to help someone reveal the most about a person's character. Think about a simple situation. Someone is assigned to lead a small office team. They could use this new role to support, encourage, and elevate the group's performance, or they could leverage it to impose authority and make others feel inferior. A friend of mine, when given the role of leading a small group project, chose to organize one-on-one meetings with each team member to hear their struggles and ideas. Instead of asserting her authority, she used this opportunity to connect and help the team reach their shared goals. This decision not only fostered unity, but also showcased her kindness and patience on the flip side. I've seen people misuse small amounts of power to inflate their ego. For example, a shift manager at a restaurant who constantly criticized employees for minor mistakes without ever acknowledging their efforts. Even though his authority was temporary, the way he wielded it revealed selfishness and a lack of empathy. This not only demoralized his team, but also diminished the respect others had for him. The issue isn't how much power you have, but how you handle it. As Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, emphasized, power is not just a responsibility, it's an opportunity to demonstrate kindness and humility. A person may never hold a high position, but if they use small opportunities to help and uplift others, they'll earn more respect than anyone trying to dominate. So how do you handle power correctly? First, always ask yourself, how will my decision impact others? If the answer is that it supports and uplifts them, you're on the right track. Second, never use power to prove yourself. Power isn't a weapon to build your image. It's a tool to create value for those around you. And finally, always remember that power is never permanent. What you do today will leave a lasting impression on how people view you. Seneca once said, "The true test of a person's character is power." But power doesn't only come from grand titles, it also arises in everyday situations. The small decisions you make when you have even the tiniest bit of authority shape how others perceive you. And that's your opportunity to not only build trust, but also refine your own character. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want you to be proud of yourself. Hit the like button and share this content with someone who needs to hear it. And in the comments, if you have your own secrets for mastering conversations and setting expectations, share them with me. I'm always eager to learn from you. I'll see you in the next video. Keep showing up, keep speaking your truth, and most importantly, keep being the best version of yourself. Stay positive, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.